Men, if you have to get your wife to understand, that's not leadership, that is control and manipulation. Yesterday, we took a look at a Reddit story where a husband had gone in and secretly set an alarm for 6:30 in the morning so that his wife would wake up to have breakfast with his parents who were in town from a different time zone. So let's talk about what this guy got wrong, and not just about breakfast, right, but about partnership, right? He said that it was about how he wanted his wife to empathize, right? But it wasn't really about empathy. It was about control. It's not her job to shrink her needs so that he can feel like a good son with his parents. And I think what this gets into is the way that we are raised and trained as boys and men in this society, oftentimes implicitly, maybe unspoken, but to see women and girls as the natural servants of men. I might not think that I think that, but if you study my behavior, do I often put my wife or the women in my life in the role of my assistant? Moreover, I might think back, how did my dad relate to my mom? How did my dad relate to the women in his life? Because if I'm actually relating to my wife as a partner, I'm going to be just as protective over her boundaries and her needs as I would want somebody to protect my boundaries and needs, which means I'm not going to set a secret alarm clock that I don't even tell her about because I want her to help me make a good impression on my parents. And how many times do we see this when men say, well, it's just that she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. I don't know how to make her understand. Hey, brother, it's often not an understanding issue. She doesn't agree. She's not going to comply. That's not because she's dumb. It's not because she can't put two and two together. It's because you want her to do something she doesn't want to do it. Yeah, this is not misunderstanding. We could call it individuation. It's saying I'm a whole separate person. I get to do and want the things I do and want. It's not a bad thing that she's refusing, man. It is a healthy human thing that she's refusing. So here's the work for us as men. Before I'm asking my partner to give more or complaining about my partner won't give, can I ask myself, am I carrying my fair share of the invisible load? Am I supporting her to have all of her needs met as much as I'm asking her to support me? Am I showing up with curiosity or am I showing up with control? When's the last time I asked my wife for feedback about our distribution of labor in the family? Because leadership and love is not about setting alarms for her, but it's about waking up yourself. If you're a man, let me know in the comments, how are you doing on asking yourself these tough questions? And if you're a woman, let us know in the comments how the men in your life are doing at asking themselves these questions. If you know a guy who could benefit from this video, please share it with him. And as always, hit follow for more.